More of the same. Mercedes, fucking crazy. Logged in 168 kilometers. Over 3 days now, they've logged 500 kilometers. And now again, you have, I think Antonelli. Okay, Russell and Antonelli had the fastest times. Russell has broken 117, 116.4. Antonelli 117.08. Leclerc, as usual, over punching with the Ferrari with 118.2. Piastri 118.419. Hamilton behind Lindblad in a V car in 118.654. And I think, which car was it today, Roman, that actually broke down and had an engine problem?
The Aston Martin.
Oh, Aston Martin. Yeah, we'll talk about them. Yeah. So we'll get to Aston Martin very quickly. But it looks like for Mercedes is absolutely the favorite for this year. Consistently 200 kilometers in their shakedown, over 300 kilometers here. They've gone down to 116 point something. They're dominating. Antonelli and Russell they're in a personal battle to see who can make each other look good while the rest are behind. McLaren looks okay. Oscar Piastri did okay today, but all out pace and power, we know that Mercedes is fantastic. Let's get to Aston Martin. Aston Martin shows up here on day 4 after shipping their car all the way out here to do one lap in 1 minute and 46 seconds. I don't know what else to say about Aston Martin. The aero design looked impressive. I saw it today. That car it doesn't even look like the other cars, but this car is so fragile. I mean, it's so fragile and slow. I don't know if it's slow or they're afraid to push it. We'll start with that. What do you think, Mr. Roman? Yeah.
They're definitely afraid to push it since all they did was slow laps. So basically, this kind of laps, they kind of go straight. They go very hard on the straights, but on the corners, they go very slow. So this was a slow lap through and through. And they were only able to manage 5 laps. After that, the car broke down. And for what it looks down to be, it seems to be a PCU shutdown. So the engine is protecting itself by shutting down. That's what happened.
Man. And I'm not saying that Aston Martin is in trouble, but my saying is that they wasted millions of dollars to even fly their car down here to do this. They should have just stayed at home. I'm serious. They should have just stayed at home. What do you think, Roman? Don't you think it's a monumental waste for them to come here and do this for 2 days? How many kilometers did they do?
They didn't do 5 laps. They do 5 laps. 5 laps.
5 laps. And they made a joke. They showed on TV where they showed DHL carrying their. Why would you bring your car across the world? Oh, not really across the world, across Europe, to do 5 laps.
The problem is they didn't do in the morning either. I expected them to be the first cars in the morning, but it turns out they didn't. So they needed the afternoon, and even in the afternoon, they came quite late in the afternoon to start. And I just thought, like, okay, this is like 30 minutes before the session ended. So 30 minutes before the session ends, they sent out Lance Stroll in the car. And I thought, okay, at least they'll just see the car running, right, to see if the engine is whatnot. And after 5 laps, that thing shut down because of overheating. So I was like, what is going on with Honda?
Overheating at 10 kilometers per hour, and you're overheating. My God.
This was supposed to be following the dyno time, because if I remember correctly, Honda was one of the suppliers who was boasting that they got the thermals under control. So if they're boasting that they got the thermals under control, how come this is happening? Maybe they did the ICU part thermal control, but PCU is the main fragile point in this engine. If it overheats, too much voltage goes, anything like that thing's going to blow up immediately. So the fact that this was not count in QA and Aston Martin had to wait so long just for this to come out, and after 5 laps, it just shuts down. This is something serious conversation that Aston Martin has to have with Honda, is that is their engine ready for Bahrain? Because Bahrain is different. The temperature is going to be harsher over there. The track doesn't really suit Aston Martin to begin with. It's a power circuit as well. So they'll really test out the engine.
Let me tell you what they need to do. They need to make a slow car. Just make a basic slow car so that they can just get through. I'm serious. There's no way. They have a month. And you know what makes it bad? We'll talk about it later, Roman. They have fantastic aerodynamics. I look at the car. The aerodynamics.
I also thought it.
Yeah, but the problem is you can have all the aerodynamics you want. If you don't have an engine, so what? But anyway, we'll talk about that soon. But get this. It's like me getting up to walk to go pick up a beer and drink it, and I overheat from just walking to my room, walking across my room, come back. This car overheated, and it wasn't even performing. And the engine say, oh, shut down. I got a belly. Remember that thing, doctor? I got a belly ache.
Yeah.
Tell you what's the matter with you.
Super disgusting.
Yeah, this car is slow. This car is like a beetle.
Here's the problem, though.
Yeah. All
Here's
right. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Mr. Johnny, in general? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, Aston Martin, I actually remember we were saying stuff about Aston Martin, if they were going to be good or not. I think Kule was right that they won't even.
They're not ready.
That they will not even, that they'll be struggling to even have like in third place or something like that. Remember?
Oh, third place now. They're going to be lucky if they can come top 6. Yeah, not now like this. No.
So actually, Kule was actually right about Aston Martin, because we were thinking about that day. We're talking about Ed Nuri and the vision that he has for everything, and we actually think that we thought that it's going to they're really going to surprise us, but right now they're not broken down, and all the upgrades,
Yeah, because I was saying that they're supposed to be favorites. I didn't realize they were this bad. But my argument has always been is that Adrian Newey doesn't live in the real world. He's very difficult. He comes up with a concept, and he won't even listen to the engineers who have to practicalize it and make the car on ground. When they say, oh, the problem with your concept is that we have to make these adaptations, so this can't work in the real world. And he totally dismisses. He won't listen. And I'm beginning to realize why Red Bull had problems. Because Adrian Newey made a car which is ideal for Red Bull on flat surfaces, low to the ground, peaky, but in the real world that won't work because of chicanes and bumps and things like that. So it's like Adrian Newey makes cars which will do very well in an ideal platonic world, but it doesn't add up with the laws of physics as they apply to the surfaces on tracks in the real world. But he doesn't want to hear it. He says that that's you guys' problem because I'm not. He doesn't want to give up his aerodynamic ideal. He says, this is my aerodynamic ideal. You have to make it work. You have no choice. And that's why the Red Bull car was so unpredictable and had problems with mechanical grip, problems with imbalance, is because he doesn't want to listen to real world analysis. Then you take somebody like Rob Marshall. Rob Marshall can take an Adrian Newey concept, but then he can find the middle ground and where you have to make changes on the concept to meet the real world. Am I wrong, Roman? And it seems like Adrian Newey doesn't want to do that. Because if you look at the car he has now, it looks fantastic. It looks like a Batmobile. That car looks fantastic. It looks like a Batmobile. But what's the point of having a Batmobile if the suspension sucks and if the engine's overheating and stuff like that? I don't know. What are your thoughts, Kunle? Yeah.
It's too bad for them. I said that these guys...
They spend billions of dollars.
Yes, but they're not ready. And that's why Adrian Newey was making all that noise that, he was trying to make it seem like I got a wolf coming up, like get ready to see something really exciting, and then you get in the bed and it's Mr. Flopsy all over again.
No, that's like the guy telling the girl, I'm going to wear you out all night. Then after 3 seconds, it comes.
Yeah, such a disappointment for the girl. I think that's what seems to be happening right now. I won't write them off, though. I mean, it's a bad day at the office. But I think that
a bad day. 5 laps and overheating. 5 laps.
Yeah, that's a bad day in the office. So I think they're well behind. And as you said, they shouldn't have come out. They should have stayed at home and kept working with the old grease and spanner and found out what was wrong and maybe work a bit harder when they're not behind the wheel. I think that. I mean, Cadillac hasn't come out yet. I mean,
Cadillac has come out and they're doing okay. Cadillac and Audi are struggling, but at least they have some decent numbers. At least they can get at least 30 laps, do okay.
That's some reliability in first, yeah.
And this goes back to what Roman said the other day. Maybe the Honda engine is the Mercedes engine because Mercedes took over the factory that Honda was working. They took over all the parts and everything, and Honda's starting from scratch again, and it doesn't look like they've gotten it right, man. What do you think, Roman? Yeah.
I mean, this is combination of interesting things. I don't think Honda told him to go out 30 minutes before the session and just so they can test the engine. I don't think Honda would have done that. It is purely management issues. Another issue I take with this is that why go to the effort of revealing such important details of your aerodynamic car on the shakedown? Aren't you supposed to do that for Bahrain test? The entire purpose of the shakedown is for the engines, right? Hence, engine manufacturers set up their base before anyone else could come. Honda executive was there waiting for Aston Martin to come since day one. These motherfuckers came 3 days late. So one has to wonder is what was Aston Martin thinking of sending a car, which I think is very mature at this point. It has matured quite a lot because no way that Aston Martin has figured out engine ducts which can release air for cooling, as for the rear for downforce, all of that. Like, it's the progress that it takes minimum, like, I would expect that this was ready for Melbourne, right? I thought that's kind of the car I saw today, but no, this was a shakedown. So either Adrian Newey has such a big advantage of a car that he's putting prototypes on the track, or Adrian Newey is putting the car on track just to test aerodynamics, and the engine can go fuck itself. I've been telling since day one is that Honda and Williams, how much ever they may boast, saying that, oh, they can do private shakedown in Silverstone, they can do virtual testing, all they want. Real life data is more important than anything else, especially at the circuit of Catalonia. Catalonia is the only circuit in the F1 calendar which can test the engine, test the hairpins, test the cornering speed, and test straight line speed at the same time. That's the only circuit in the entire calendar which can do all four of them at the same time. So the opportunity of testing unlimited mileage in 3 days, they just lost it. And they came out on track for initial 5 laps, and the engine shut down for overheating. So I just have to wonder what was the plan overall, because for Williams, they're going to do a private shakedown anyway in Silverstone, I think end of this week. So for them, they're kind of sorted. But for Aston Martin, this is a question mark for me, because don't forget.
Well, this is like you said, real world data, but it's not different from what I'm saying, in which Adrian Newey doesn't take real world concerns into matter. And now you look at Williams. Williams is the opposite. They just follow data anyhow without any concept. You're having two extremes, and both of them are suffering. Williams is guided by purely concept, because that's what Vowell said. We follow the data, but no concept. This guy has a concept, but doesn't follow real world data. And both of them are struggling for it. Yeah.
Yeah. With Adrian Newey, he is a known quantity. We have seen that in the years after 2014, the Renault engine was a disaster for Red Bull, but still, Red Bull had the most aerodynamical efficiency. But there's a massive button there. It was very unique to drive. It took a very special driver to get along with the Red Bull. Red Bull got really lucky that they got 2 drivers from the academy who were able to take over and become dominant.
But Roman,
it was Sebastian first.
Roman, we're talking about driving a car for 2 minutes for 1 lap. That's not. There's no driver in the world. Even Verstappen can't work with that car. Vettel can't work with the car that we saw today. Yeah.
Again,
the car is slow.
Again, don't get it twisted. This is running at 80% power, and they only did slow laps. They did not push the car at all. In slow laps, the engine overheated. Again, this could be many things. A shady job of putting the cooling correctly, that could cause an overheating. Settings, that can cause an overheating. There are many things. But that is the advantage. So if you come at day 1 or day 2, when you have time, you can sort these things out and go for next day again and push it again and again. That's the thing of doing it again. That's why they give you 3 days.
Roman, after 25 laps, Verstappen was going 119 in the rain. After 25 laps.
So that's what Verstappen, though. You can't compare him to other drivers.
Yeah, but it's the car. But the problem is the limiting factor is the car. This guy didn't even push the car, and it broke down.
I know what happened with the car.
Go ahead, Mr. Johnny. Go ahead. Yeah.
The car is actually perfect. It's working perfect. Just that, sometimes when you buy something new and you forget to remove the plastic off it, and then it's actually so there's somebody forgot to remove something that's supposed to remove, and then the thing got heated and then overheated, and then that's why.
I'm going to take a lot more common in Formula One than you think. I'm going to take a lot more common. It's a lot more common in Formula One than you think. That removing stuff, not removing stuff, keeping things in the engine. I remember in last year, there's a screwdriver in Verstappen's lap during free practice, and the mechanics forgot to remove the screwdriver from his leg. So there's a screwdriver roaming on the brake area.
So here's what I'm going to take Kool-Aid's thing. First of all, they haven't done any shakedown privately. Then they say, we can't make it. Maybe we'll make it a Thursday and Friday, and they came late. They did that because they knew they weren't ready. They're not ready. That's what I agree with Kool-Aid. What do you think, Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say about that. They got caught with their pants down. they can still catch up. They still have the resources, and they still have the tech, but they're now playing catch up now, and it depends on how much they've got. But what is interesting about the rest of the field today is we can see that Ferrari has a good engine. We can see Mercedes has a good engine. We can see Honda has a good engine, and the teams. But some of the secondary teams that are carrying these engines seem to be struggling, especially Ferrari engines in other cars seem to be having not the best of times.
Yeah, Ferrari's struggling.
Yeah, but clearly McLaren are going to be there or thereabouts again this season. In the hunt.
Right now, the way I look at it, the three teams, actually the four teams, but here's my order: Mercedes, then number 2 or 3, I don't know, is between McLaren and Red Bull / Verstappen, because Verstappen and Red Bull are one car. Okay. Then, funny enough, I'm going to have Alpine as number 4 right now. Now, based on these tests.
Giving up on Ferrari? You can't be giving up on Ferrari.
Ferrari is not doing much, man. They're struggling. Well, you got Leclerc. So let me put it like this: Ferrari and Alpine will fight, and maybe Ferrari. But right now, Alpine has had a better session when you look at reliability and speed taken together. What do you think, based on what we've seen so far, Roman? What would you say?
I mean,
based on what you've seen, not based on names, based on what you've seen in terms of performance this weekend, would you say Ferrari's done better than Alpine when it comes to lapped in and speed?
Thing you have to understand is that this is testing.
It's a yes or no question.
Data doesn't mean much.
I know, but I'm just saying based on the data. That's all we can do right now. Yeah.
So again, the data is very limited at the moment. So what I can tell you,
based on the data, what would you say? Yeah.
Like I said, this is timing, so I can't tell you much. What I will tell you is that they had much more smoother operations than Ferrari, meaning that they encountered less issues than Ferrari.
You're dancing around the question. Right now, No, going by data. I'm not saying that Ferrari is going to be slower than Alpine, but Alpine has had a better testing than Ferrari.
If you're asking about time alone, then Ferrari definitely beat Alpine.
Time and reliability taken together.
Ferrari, because again, time-wise, they actually smashed Alpine, and they have so far not broken down. Only Cadillac
smashed Alpine. What is the fastest time Alpine has had this weekend?
I think not this weekend. Yesterday, I believe it was 1:22.
That's the fastest they've had. What about day one? What was Alpine's time?
1:30 for Colapinto.
Okay, so wow. So they are faster. So I agree. So Ferrari's a little bit ahead of Alpine. I think Alpine has better reliability, to be honest with you. Ferrari has had
engine.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And if it's a Mercedes engine, we know that they have more power than Ferrari too. But that's a question for another day. I think let's put it like this. I'll even agree with you. So you're looking at McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Alpine right now. What were you going to say, Mr. Johnny? Yeah.
This the data that they're actually receiving might be quite deceiving because of it's actually quite very cool. I mean, in Europe at the moment. Where they are, where are they again?
Barcelona.
And even for Barcelona at this time, the temperature is actually quite low,
cold.
Yes. Yeah. So and when it really gets going later on, I mean when they're going to it's actually going to so they're going to have good data for cold tracks and stuff, but later on you're going to have some problems when the heat.
Who that's going to favor? That's going to favor McLaren. When it gets hotter, McLaren's advantage gets better than everybody by miles.
We'll see how it will be in this new.
Okay, so let's end with this. Nobody can deny right now, no matter all this data bullshit, Mercedes is on another level, man. 116, 500 kilometers in 3 days. 700 kilometers if you add in. So right now, Mercedes is on another level. What were you going to say, Mr. John? Yeah.
That shows that they are testing. They are working. That's what they're doing. They're just
and that's really
it's not just trying to be fastest. Or I don't think they're trying to be fastest.
No.
But you can see the workload, and so they're really putting in the work and really doing the stuff.
And there's a rumor that they're not using their compression trick yet, because if they do it, it will scare the FIA and they'll ban it. So think about that. I heard a rumor that maybe for the first 6 races, they'll even let some teams win. And then after race 6, they're going to go full out on their compression. And once they do that, FIA can't ban it. You see what I'm saying? Because, so what they're saying is that if Mercedes has a 2 second per lap, I'm not saying it's true, but if they have a 2 second, because you're seeing them do 116 today, 116. Other teams are doing 120, 118. And the idea is that if that compression thing is true, maybe they're not even going to show people that. Like how Vettel used to do. Vettel will drive slow in free practices. Then on Q3, last lap, he'll beat everybody by a lot, but he wouldn't show them what he has until the last minute. If that's what Mercedes is doing, then everybody should be.
Mercedes is always has a history of sandbagging. They usually sandbag.
And there's another correlation. Usually in F1, the team that has significantly more mileage than anybody in testing wins. That's a rule in F1. I said significantly more. If it's close. No, what I'm saying is that usually that's a predictor for F1. If you have significantly more, because you know why? It's more data.
Yes, it's more data. I get you. Yeah.
And also
makes sense.
Not only more, they're doing 500 kilometers of hours at significantly faster times than other teams, which are doing only 300 kilometers. So they're getting so much testing in that even if their car isn't inherently faster, they're so ahead of the curve data-wise. What are your thoughts, Kunle?
Yeah, I mean, they're really doing well, Mercedes, on the testing of this car. They've come out strong. Antonelli's managed to hold up his end of the bargain in the second car, which is quite impressive for such a young kid.
Oh, yeah, today, Russell pipped him today. Russell got him today. He beat him back up by 3 or 4 tenths of a second. Yeah,
I mean, but Russell, his teammate. So he's actually been able to show that he can be a very strong wingman for Mercedes. Mercedes already have a good team. They've had a history of good racecraft, although they did struggle a little with it a couple of seasons. I think was it the last season with Hamilton, and I don't know whether it's more about Hamilton not working with it. So I'd like to see whether Mercedes can come back. I mean, they used to be really lucky.
Come back? What do you mean? They're the best. Mercedes is the best right now.
I mean, they used to guess the weather movements whilst the races were going on and always have the correct tires and things like that. They used to be quite good at that sort of thing.
Let me tell you the truth, Roman. I'm going to bet $100 today that Mercedes comes first and second in Australia. That's how confident I am. Go ahead. Yeah.
They're organized.
I'm going to bet it. I'm not joking. I'm going to bet it on sports betting. I'm not joking. Go ahead. Yeah.
They look as organized as McLaren, and I think as constructors go, it should be a straight fight between them, if not for the confusing antics of the Dutchman and the Red Bull.
The Flying Dutchman. Yeah.
Yes, but I do think that it should really be a McLaren versus Mercedes season.
I'm not going to argue with you, but my thing is that Verstappen did a 119. Even though this doesn't matter, Red Bull hasn't shown any weakness in reliability or pace either. Just like McLaren, they haven't shown any. The only problem they had is that Isaac Hadjar wrecked the car, so they may not be able to get more. But Red Bull has actually been faster than McLaren. Actually, McLaren's a little bit faster. But they've been equal to McLaren in lap times, and there's nothing to suggest that McLaren has better reliability. But here's the difference, though. McLaren has that Mercedes engine, which means they have that advantage of power, maybe over Red Bull. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else has the Honda engine? There's another team that has the Honda engine.
I don't know, but I tell you what.
Only Aston Martin. They're with a works team now.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that Red Bull, you know what it is? Red Bull has dodged the bullet because the Mercedes and McLaren may be faster than Red Bull, but during the halfway through last season, a lot of people were saying Red Bull wouldn't be in the top 6. To me now, they're going to be in the top 3 or 4. Yeah, go ahead. So with Red Bull, it's almost like, even though we're not as good as McLaren and Mercedes, at least we're not pathetic. Because the way people were talking about Red Bull is that they were so pathetic that Verstappen needs to leave them immediately. So with Red Bull, even if Verstappen comes third, he should thank God he did, because it could have been worse. Sorry, go ahead, Kunle. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that the Racing Bulls are carrying the same engine and they're quite far behind.
They went faster than Hamilton. Racing Bulls went faster than Hamilton today.
Yeah, well, Hamilton's not having a good time right now. I think Hamilton is going to have one of those seasons again where he'll perform well in the races and perform poorly in testing
and Leclerc came third behind Piastri. No, Leclerc came third, so that means that Lawson came fourth and Hamilton came fifth. My God, man.
Yeah, Hamilton's still getting used to it. I'm sure he's going to still complain about getting used to rains or his dog dying or his vegan diet or whatever, or because he's black. I don't know. He's got to sort something out.
No, let me tell you what's wrong with Hamilton. It's not a race thing. I'll be honest with you. Here's what I say about Hamilton. He's demoralized. He hasn't recovered. Hamilton has not recovered from losing in I think in general Hamilton is psychologically fragile. So because he put himself in a but Alonso's old and Alonso's still fighting. I think I think he's down on himself. I think his problem is emotional. It's not physical or age. It's emotional.
Hamilton is getting better, but
No, Hamilton just needs a good car, and that's it. And he'll be back. At least he'll just be able to be shining. Maybe he, of course. I mean, just to be mixing up with them. He'll be mixing up with the stuff.
And I'll agree with this. Hamilton is a fast car merchant. It doesn't mean that. What it means is that if you give Hamilton a fast car and you put a fast car in Verstappen and both of them, he'll challenge Verstappen. But if you put Hamilton in a car that's not as good and Verstappen would beat him. So this goes to Hamilton's feedback and also his ability to drive on unstable situations. If everything is stable, Hamilton may be unbeatable, but he can't drive in unstable situations. So he's not adapting.
Hamilton should have gone to McLaren. I think.
I think Hamilton would have beaten Norris if he was driving side by side with him on the McLaren car. I'm serious. That's what I believe. We can do a show on that, actually. I believe Hamilton would have won the championship last year if you put him in that McLaren with Norris. I'm serious. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he would have. Because the Norris is the most stable car we've ever seen. All right, we'll talk about that on another day because I have to go tow my car in 5 minutes. My car is in the snow. Last thoughts, Mr.
Snow.
Yeah, I have to pay $200 to take it out of the snow. Fuck that shit. What's going on, Mr. Roman? Last thoughts, yeah.
Nothing much. What I'm interested is that after seeing all of this, tomorrow 8 teams are going to do their final test. 8 teams, so it's going to be chaotic on the track. And what will this become for pre-season testing at Bahrain will be the most important testing we can ever see because that is where engines go full 100%.
Yeah, but I think Mercedes is the most prepared. They're ready, man. In fact, Red Bull could do Bahrain today if they had to. All right, so is Verstappen and them going to make it next year? I know next tomorrow because they're waiting for parts. Thanks a lot, fucking what's your name, Haja? Thanks a lot, man. Are they gonna be ready, Roman? Yeah. Tomorrow.
Probably. It's Red Bull.
I hope they get in time because they showed Verstappen at home in Monaco playing John Madden football, playing PlayStation at home today. He's not even in Spain, so he's gonna have to fly back to Spain. I have a feeling that he knows they're not gonna have the parts by tomorrow, but we'll see tomorrow. Okay.
He's a private jet. He can come in the morning himself if he wants.
He could. Yeah. Take us out, Kule.
Okay, so it has been a day where the Bavarians have shown themselves to be their adversary. And as we go on to tomorrow and see what the other cars are going to do on the practice, from myself, Roman, Mustafa, and Johnny, we bid you goodbye, farewell, adieu. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right.
I'm going to predict that tomorrow Russell's going to do a 113. All right, let's get out of here, man.
All right.